Welcome to Alberta Conservation Association's Harvest Your Own podcast, the resource for everything hunting, navigating through the field, the butcher shop, and the kitchen. Life is all about great food. Let's get started.
Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Brad Fenson, an avid outdoor enthusiast who has worked as a freelance journalist, photographer, and public speaker for over 3 decades. I have hunted, fished, and foraged all my life and hope to share my passion for the outdoors. Along the way, I want to encourage everyone to harvest wild proteins and enjoy the satisfaction of providing the next meal for your family. Our goal is to educate, entertain, and inspire individuals to get outdoors and create a connection between food, health, and your future meals. Welcome to Harvest Your Own. Today we have a couple aspiring women to be more engaged with the outdoors, is I guess the best way to put it. They followed Harvest Your Own a little bit. They entered some contest and won an opportunity to attend the Heba Outdoor Women's Program. And I'd like to welcome Naomi Sachs and Heba Alkobi. Correct?
Yeah. Thank you so much for having us.
Welcome. And we're just a week after the grand event. You guys were both at Alfred Lake Conservation Center last week. Took the Outdoor Women's Program. Give me a couple words. How was it?
Honestly, it was amazing. I'd say, I don't know that I went in with a lot of expectation. Didn't really know what it was going to be like, but I think it definitely exceeded any expectation I probably would have had. Just was like really empowering and just so much fun. Awesome.
Naomi, it's interesting because I was there instructing a course on cleaning upland game birds, and I had no idea who the winner of the contest was, but you were one of the first people I talked to. You were in my session.
Yeah, I believe I was the first class on Thursday morning.
Yes, you were. So, it's nice to meet you. And I came home and I got the name of the winner to contact to do a podcast. I'm like, oh, Naomi. Well, I already met her. So
yeah, it just kind of worked out.
And you were the one that entered the contest.
Correct.
Tell me a little bit about what drew you to Harvest Your Own in the first place.
Well, I was already interested in getting more involved with outdoor activities. Earlier this year, I hired a rifle coach to get me well-versed with shooting, target shooting, long distance, all of that stuff. And it kind of got my blinders open, I guess. And I was talking with a colleague of mine at work, and I told her about how I was getting involved with rifle shooting, and she suggested this contest.
Nice.
Yep, so I had to enter.
And what a great thing you did.
Yeah, totally.
So you won the contest, and you were able to bring a friend with you.
Correct.
And you picked Heba.
That's right.
And how did you get so lucky to be the invited guest?
I think, well, again, I recently showed interest in in getting my PAL and learning how to shoot. And Naomi really wants a partner to come out with her and knows I'm kind of usually up for anything. And so as soon as she asked me, I was like, absolutely, like that. I didn't think twice about it. I was like, we get to go to camp.
Nice. Sounds like a great pick.
Yeah.
It certainly was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So any previous background in hunting or firearms or outdoor exposure?
No, actually, over the last few years, I had a friend who was heavily involved with hunting who suggested that I attend a hunting excursion with them, and I was afraid at the time. I completely declined it. And so my mindset has changed so much in the last few years that it's only been in the last about 6 months or so that I have this interest that I do now with hunting. So even though I had that opportunity prior to, it was never really a consideration until now.
Wow. Very interesting. Now, for the listeners that are out there that don't know the Heba Becoming an Outdoor Women's Program, it began in 1994 to encourage women to enjoy the great outdoors by providing an opportunity to gain confidence, increase competence, acquire experience, and promote personal growth in outdoor skills. Is that what happened?
I think so.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so the program is educational, but it creates bonds. There was 130 women at the course.
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. How many sessions were available? Do you know the number?
I believe there were 25 classes available for the students to rotate through.
Right. And for those that don't know much about it, there's everything from fly fishing, archery, quadding, firearms, how to use a chainsaw, how to back up a trailer, field dressing animals, rope making, cooking. What else am I missing?
So there was archery. That one was super cool. Probably one of my favorite. And then also just firearms. So learning how to use shotguns, rifles. The actually coolest thing was learning how to load a muzzle loading gun. I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but
you are.
Yeah, it was awesome. I got to shoot a 50 caliber. It was, it was unreal. It knocked my arm a little bit, but it was such an experience.
Nice. And Naomi, what about you?
Oh, in terms of my favorite?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. It's hard to pick a favorite because they all were in a class of their own. But if I had to consider the most memorable, I would have to say the archery.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have either of you've obviously, Naomi, shot firearms before because you've taken some coaching and long range stuff. Heba, what about you?
I've gone to the range once with handguns, which was pretty cool. But I would say this handguns was awesome. But I think just the rifles, using the scopes, and Naomi always brags about how cool her scope is.
Nice.
And now I understand like scopes and why they're so awesome. But so I would say just like the one time, which I took my husband for his birthday, and it was pretty cool. But this was like actually learning how to load the gun, clean the gun. Again, you do the PAL and you learn a little bit, but it's nothing compared to what I learned over the weekend.
What about you? Sort of wrap up what the Outdoor Women's Program was to you as you came out of it.
Oh, wow. I would say it was a really empowering opportunity for women to learn and navigate outdoor terrain in an environment that's not intimidating.
Very nice. Well put. Did you practice that?
No, actually.
That's how you feel.
No, I've been asked a few times how I felt about it.
Does it make a difference to have only women around you?
So for me, when we showed up, I thought it was going to be only women. I mean, I think that was probably like the instructors, many were going to be men. Maybe in the future they'll all be women, but it was awesome. It was great to get to know, the outdoorsy types of women and just like, again, just so empowering. And they were all just so strong and so nice and welcoming. And again, I'm a city girl, don't really have a lot of experience with this kind of stuff. And it was just very eye opening. And I think any kind of preconceived notions that I had about this kind of area were definitely changed. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
And a lot of these activities are typically male dominated. So to not have, I guess interference from what happens is like you have a partner that kind of likes to take over if you're not,
Right.
If you don't have the skills development, there's no one trying to take over because you're there to develop your skills. Yeah. And I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, I guess that's why I think the program is so awesome is it's hands-on. Like no one's doing it for you. It's like they tell you how to do it. They might show you how to do it. But like when we cleaned the upland game birds, Naomi took cleaning upland game birds. I cleaned a bird and then we passed birds out and everyone was hands-on.
Absolutely.
And it was interesting because we had two women that were a little squeamish. They're like, ooh, I don't think I want to do this. But you know what? Even when it came to gutting birds or eviscerating them, they were laughing and chuckling and saying, this really isn't that bad at all.
Yeah.
I wonder how much of that do you think is peer pressure? Everyone else was having fun with it and they had preconceived notions, but they seemed to evaporate.
Yeah, I think just seeing the other ladies all handling it together and, working together as a team, it just reduced the stress of having to figure it out and do it perfectly. Because we had so much coaching and so much review of how everyone else was, struggling, that just any kind of the challenges that came up with it, it felt like we were just well supported in that environment.
Very nice. So the event actually is, you get there on Wednesday and the courses run Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And what did you do on Sunday?
Sunday was leather sheath making, where Heba and I were in the class together.
Yeah. So it's about 3.5 days total of hands-on, but 4 days with camping, stayovers. How were the meals?
They were abundant. They kept us well fed.
Yeah.
There were a lot of options for food. Got to be honest, we were in for a bit of a shock just because, there was things on the menu that we don't normally eat.
Right.
Like we're not big on pork.
Yeah, I
So
know.
there just happened to be quite a bit of pork there. So we had to figure out how to devise strategies of keeping up with our calories, and there was plenty of food to go around. So
Right.
even though there wasn't, the options that we would typically gravitate towards, there were still enough options to keep us fed.
Right. It's interesting because your background is fitness and training, so diet is a big part of that.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, we eat a lot.
Yeah.
The right stuff, though.
Yeah,
That's
the right
right.
stuff.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's an important message too, because people that are finicky or have specific dietary needs, when you go to a thing like this, you can make it work if you want to.
Oh yeah. Like I think we know for next time just to bring a little bit more. I think we were probably a little bit underprepared for like snacks and stuff like that. Naomi doesn't really do gluten and I don't do
Right.
pork. So like it was, there was a pork roast, which I'm sure was delicious and like right on brand. But yeah, so just, and it's understandable. There's so many people you can't accommodate everyone. So I think it was more just for us for next time to just maybe bring a little bit more snacks for ourselves because again, you can't accommodate everyone.
Right.
Well, we did weigh ourselves at the end of the trip, and so we didn't lose.
We didn't lose any weight,
which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Because we're not trying to.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we want to maintain our performance and output. So we coming back from this camp and we're seeing a weight loss because we had to avoid certain food groups. That would be not ideal, but there was enough food to go around where we were able to feed.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And 4 days is minimal. Like you should be able to maintain your weight.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's lots of potato salad.
We definitely ate lots of potato salad, lots of it was
Yeah.
many sandwiches. So,
Lots of eggs.
This podcast is produced for Harvest Your Own, a program dedicated to those who want to reconnect with food and health through their experiences outdoors. HarvestYourOwn.ca is a resource for individuals to learn more about hunting and the outdoors. There's information to get you started and ensure that your compass stays pointed in the right direction to be successful. Where's your next meal coming from?
Describe the camp for anyone that's never been there or is listening saying, wow, I should really check this out. Describe the camp to me.
Wow, it was a really diverse construct. It was kind of caught me off guard with that question.
yeah, I think because I don't know, like Naomi probably hasn't done much camping. I've never been to camp. Like as a kid, my parents never were able to put me to camp, so I think it was cool. It was like almost like reliving or living that camp experience. We thought maybe we would just be us in a cabin. There was 2 other women, so I think at first we were like, oh no, our space. But then after, the women were lovely. Everyone, it was just, again, it was like I said. It definitely changed my perspective on that type of thing because usually maybe a little bit high maintenance when it comes to that stuff, but it was just perfect and I wasn't like looking forward to going home.
Right.
It was just like a lot of fun and throughout the whole thing.
Yeah. So there's I'll call it a main lodge for meals.
Yeah.
Where they do the cooking. There's a shower house and there's a significant amount of tables where people sit and enjoy fellowship and food. And it's usually a smorg type meal where they fill the tables from one end to the other and you sort of eat until you're full and move on. Is that a good way to describe that?
And there was enough food for seconds and thirds.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you had the option of either camping, bringing your RV or trailer, or doing the cabins.
Right. Yeah. So there is a number of cabins there and you can book them. You can bring a tent. You can bring an RV. If you book a cabin, some of them are more intimate for smaller numbers of people. Some of them you have to share, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
But, obviously a ton of room. If there's 130 women there, plus instructors and a HEA staff, it's a busy place.
Yep. Right. And I think technically the cabins can fit 6, but they were nice enough to only do 4.
Yes. So the camp this weekend is busy with a youth program. Now, so it's pretty nice to have a facility like that in Alberta that can switch gears, look at different parts of our society, different types of people, and accommodate them to teach them things in the outdoors.
Yeah. The really cool part was, so I did like a small little post on my Instagram of the week, and I had probably at least 5 girlfriends reach out to me and say, oh my God, this is amazing. Can I come with you next year?
Nice.
So yeah, so it was, I'm like, absolutely. This was so much fun. You should totally come. Yeah.
That's an interesting thing. Instagram is a powerful tool, social media wise. Big question is, who would you recommend go to the camp?
I'd say anybody that's interested, obviously, in like camping or hunting or guns, but I think anyone that's just trying to get out of your comfort zone, do something different. I think it's really as long as you're not like vegetarian, maybe. With all the taxidermy in the space, maybe that would have made them uncomfortable. But I would say honestly, anyone that's just any female that's just trying to like get out of your comfort zone, do something different, learn new skills.
What about you, Naomi? Did anyone else that would benefit from it?
I think even women that lack the confidence to, develop some of these skills because they feel like that it is overwhelming to take something like this on, and they just want to be in a supportive structure. This is just an amazing opportunity for it.
You know, what shocked me the most is, maybe I shouldn't be shocked because I didn't have a preconceived notion of what I would find there when I showed up. But there were some young ladies in their late teens, and the oldest lady there was 92 years old. And she'd been to every camp except the first. And it's a highlight every year.
I remember her.
Yeah, that's pretty significant. Like, did anyone else shock you there that someone was there? Like, wow, I'm surprised that this person is interested, or
Well, I thought what was interesting was that there were a lot of girls that were highly skilled with the outdoors who were still attending, and I thought, wow, if there's something for them to learn, then this is a great opportunity.
Yeah, and that's probably a great way to put it. I spend a significant time in the outdoors, and I like to tell people that if you have an open mind, you can learn something every time you go out. And a lot of times if you go out with somebody new, they're a mentor, or they can teach you things that they've learned from other people or discovered on their own. So I don't think it would ever get old to keep going back. There's always an opportunity to keep learning.
That's right. And it sounds like they want to constantly update their class offerings as well. So it looks like they might be rotating through some new events.
Right. And I think they even asked you, what would you like to see in future years?
Right. Yeah.
Did you have any suggestions?
No, I felt like it's going to be a few years before I get through the current list.
I actually, when I looked you up online and saw what you do, I'm like, wow, Naomi would be an incredible instructor there to teach people fitness for the outdoors. Oh. People that wanted to go hiking in the foothills and mountains and do a really adventuresome backpack trip. Like, I know the person that could step up and show you a diet plan and an exercise routine and where you had to increase your cardio and your muscle strength. And like, you would be right up front and center.
Perhaps I might be a future volunteer for Ahia.
I would say that was probably one thing that people are probably a little bit surprised at, is like how heavy some of these pieces of, like, maybe a gun's 8 pounds, but like holding it up. Right. So you do have to have some upper body strength. So I think that's a part that maybe would be great to like kind of include in futures. Like, yeah, just, building some muscle and muscle memory and being able to do some of that.
Yeah, it's huge. And I never thought we were going to discuss this, but again, with your background, both you, when you take the archery course, you find out that when you go to draw a bow that has even 40 pounds of weight, if you've never done it, you're calling on muscles that aren't used in that way. They don't have the muscle memory, is what I always call it. The more you pull a bow, the stronger you get, you build the specific muscles you need, and then you have that muscle memory. Even if you set it down for a few months, come back and pick it up, it only takes you a day or two instead of a month to get those muscles back in shape.
Yeah.
That's right.
So there might be a calling for you here.
Sure, bring it on.
Let's move into the meat and potatoes. Tell me what courses you took. Naomi, I'll start with you. Sure. Day number 1, I know you were in my bird cleaning course.
Yep, and I also did sausage making.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
What'd you make?
We made a deer and pork sausage.
Yeah. Is it a fresh sausage? Obviously, you didn't have time to smoke it.
Yes, correct. They did not have a smoker on site.
Right. And what'd you put in it? Do you remember some of the ingredients?
So we had 2 flavors. We had a spicy, and I believe we had a savory.
Yep.
So we had the kind of formulation made by all of the students, and what we would do is we would add spices, someone would document it, and then we would do smell checks because we can't do taste tests because the meat is raw.
Right.
Yeah, so we would continually smell the sausage mix until it got to the point that we felt that it was like a good amount of fragrant aroma before we send it into the casing.
Nice. And did you get a chance to eat it for a meal? Like, what did they do with the sausages after they were made?
They sent the students home with it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we each got one savory, a package of savory, and a package of sweet for each student.
Yep. Have you tried them?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Tomorrow.
Yep. You know what? I grew up in a family, we made sausage all the time. I still do. Our girls are quite active. They come out and help. But my favorite part of the sausage making was always to form little patties, and we fried them to instead of smelling it, we would actually taste it. It needs a little bit more pepper or sage or this or that. And it was always the best part, is fine tweaking by tasting little miniature patties that we did. So The sniff test is interesting. I've never tried that one.
Yeah, that was the teacher's recommendation.
Yep. And Heba, what did you take the first day?
The first day I had shotguns and rifles.
Ooh, you went big.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I had a really, my focus was like, again, guns, archery. And then the other half of my week was weekend was crafting, which I thought I would be better at. But it turns out that like the fact that I've never crocheted or knit anything, the bracelet making ended up being extremely frustrating. And luckily I had a very nice woman next to me who helped me. Otherwise I would have walked out.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about the gun programs.
Yeah, so something that was actually pretty cool is I didn't realize I was left eye dominant. And so then I did a lot of my shooting kind of near the second half of the week on the left side, which was pretty cool and kind of hard to get used to. I'd say archery I was probably better than the handgun. I don't know. I wasn't the best at the handgun, but archery I seemed to like really take got really
proficient quick.
Proficient in, yeah.
Nice.
Good.
Handguns are tough.
Yeah.
It's hand-eye coordination, and it's a little more than that. It's hand-eye coordination, knowing where the end of the barrel is pointed. So
yeah.
It is tricky.
Yeah, and then another thing that was super cool, we did crossbows, and I was there was 2 crossbows, and one was a little bit because I think it's like 180 pounds
draw weight,
and then they put the kind of straps on it, it takes some of that weight off. So one of them actually I was able to get up one time, and then the other one was no problem. So it felt good. I was like, hey, I could actually do this, use some of that strength that I've been working on.
Nice. Day 2. What was your day 2, Naomi?
Day 2 for me was archery and building a survival bracelet.
Okay. And how was archery for you?
Amazing.
Yeah.
I thought the 3D course was just super cool. I sent my mom a photo, and she thought I had killed a real boar.
Was she excited?
And I said, no, it's fake because there's spray paint on it. We took the picture because I hit a bullseye. So,
right, nice.
And then I sent it to my mom, and she thought I had killed something.
Yeah. Have you shot archery before?
No, first time.
Very good.
Yeah.
How easy or challenging was it to draw the bow?
It was very easy. They had kids' bows for us to practice with which made sense because we have women of all ages there.
Right.
So they all have different strength levels. It wouldn't make sense to have an adult bow that would only be drawn by, some members of the group. So that they had a 20-pound bow for us to use. So essentially everyone was able to use it without any major effort.
Right. Were there some heavier weight compound bows that you could also progress up to?
They use them in to describe them, and they had them as to show us, but we didn't use them.
Okay.
Yeah, I was with Naomi in archery as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that was we had a couple classes together, and so that was one of them. And again, just like I say, probably one of my favorite.
Yep.
This podcast was made possible by Alberta Conservation Association and the Harvest Your Own community. If you're interested in harvesting your own food, there's a comprehensive collection of information to gain insight and knowledge. Head to the field, harvest your own protein, prepare it, and taste the results. HarvestYourOwn.ca is a library of information from getting started and geared up to processing, butchering, and cooking wild game to make the connection between health and food.
What is a survival bracelet?
Survival bracelet is a bracelet made from paracord that it's a high tensile material that has a capacity of up to 400. The ones that we were provided has a capacity of 425 pounds, and then we made a lanyard that has a capacity of 550 pounds. And the cool thing about the lanyard, it also has a piece of fishing wire and a piece of jute intertwined into the paracord should you ever need to disassemble the paracord for additional survival purposes.
Oh, wow. So, how hard were they to build?
Like as Heba said, if you enjoy tying knots of various kinds, this is definitely the go-to class for you. But there is a lot of left, right, up, down. And if you're having a conversation while you're tying these things, you lose complete track of what you've been doing.
It's a focus event.
It's a focus event, is it? Very much so.
Yeah. And your day 2?
So my day 2, was archery and then firearms. So
Right.
the handguns, crossbow, and then the muzzle load, which again was probably, it was like...
That was your favorite.
It was cool. It was cool. You kind of have, again, when we're doing like the PAL and they're teaching you, but you're thinking about like, World War II and those muzzle loaders. You don't expect to have a powerful,
recoil.
It was I think I mustered up the energy because I came back around to the 50 caliber because someone was using the 45, and I was like, okay, you can do this. Don't be scared. Because the one time I was just too anticipating it too much, and then I definitely missed my target. But then I kind of like breathed into it, did the slow trigger, and then it was super cool. I hit the target. So.
And did your instructors help motivate you and make you feel at ease with it?
Oh yeah, definitely. Again, the instructors were they were so great, and there was no judgment. Like if you did, there was a little bit of fear there. They, gave you the confidence to try again. It's okay, no problem. Just breathe into it, hold your breath, and then just kind of like walked you through the steps. So
nice.
Yeah,
that's the way it should be. Yeah. There's no dumb questions, and everyone comes there with a different skill level and anticipation.
Yep.
So they accommodate everyone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Day 3, we're getting close to the end already.
Yeah. So for day 3, I had knife making and bear aware.
Yep.
Both of them were awesome. Knife making was an opportunity to use a lot of tools I've never seen before.
Yep.
And that was pretty involved. And a little scary at first, but he did some of the more, serious tool use for us.
Right.
And then we were finishing the knives on our own.
So do you have the knife?
I do have the knife.
And are you proud of it?
It's beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was with Naomi doing knives as well.
Yep. And did you enjoy it?
Oh yeah, it was really cool. I love my knife, and it's pretty. I definitely took pictures and sent it to all my friends.
Nice.
My husband, I was like, I made this.
And what was the second session you took?
I took bear aware.
Right. Is that
that was incredible. So it was just understanding the behavior of bears and determining whether you're encountering a defensive confrontation or a predatory confrontation with a bear, when to use bear spray, and also how to use bear spray. So how to remove the safety.
It's important.
Yeah, and how to maintain a specific distance so that the bear spray reaches the bear. And types of body behavior that you have to maintain in a more predatory encounter so that, you can maintain kind of like a dominance.
Right. Mm-hmm. Be bigger and scarier than the bear.
Exactly.
And what was your second one?
That was the bracelet making. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you went back to that. Now, did you guys on purpose pick different events because of your interest, or is that just the way it worked out?
No, we both had different interests. Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
So it's nice that you went together.
Yes.
But you weren't held to the fact that you were going to do everything together.
Yes, exactly.
You're going to do your personal interest.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah. And there was no issue with that. We both really enjoyed the activities that we chose.
Yep.
And then we look forward to doing new ones should we go again next year.
Yeah. So 25 different options. Were there any that you couldn't get into, or they could accommodate you with everything?
Oh, there were absolutely options that I did not get because you're limited to the number that they can fill for the days that you're there. Wilderness cuisine is definitely one that I would want to do in the future. I hear you're well fed during that class too, so just.
I happened to wander by it and then sneak a few samples when they were doing that one.
Yeah, I think for me, I probably the trailering would have been good. Yeah, because. I mean, my husband that's his forte, so it would be cool for me to be able to jump in the truck and
back up the trailer.
Yeah, show him a couple things.
Nice. Yep. Sunday, your last day.
Yeah, we were both in leather sheath making.
Yep. So you already built the knife.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Does the sheath fit the knife?
Yeah.
Yes, it
Sweet.
does. It does. And she actually gave us a trick too, that if the knife was a little bit too big for the sheath, you wet the sheath, you submerge it, and then you insert the knife, and then you let it dry with the knife inserted, and it molds to the knife. So I thought that was really a nice tip for any student that had trouble with that at the end.
Yeah. So did it wrap up around noon, early afternoon, then you drove home?
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
So how quick did the 4 days go by?
I would say pretty quick. Again, it was just fun from beginning to end. There was just so much learning. And again, just meeting everybody, and just everyone was just so darn nice. It was amazing.
It sounds like it exceeded your expectations.
Oh, yeah.
The
instructors were incredibly patient.
Yeah.
For having had to work with so many students over the days and just be so, involved with every student that had questions. It just never felt like, we were a bother when we were challenged or struggling or trying to figure something out.
Awesome. You couldn't ask for more then.
No.
What would you tell other women that are out there thinking about the outdoors or have dabbled in it or even, experienced a lot of things? Is this a course that they should consider, and why?
I think so. There are so many areas that are covered in these 4 or 5 days that even though you're involved in the outdoors, there's no way that you've explored absolutely every aspect of the outdoors, which is what I feel like this program allows you to get into.
Right. What about you, Heba?
Yeah. So I think, building the confidence, right? To be able to do something that you're not comfortable with, that's outside of kind of your expertise, or because I feel like, especially for me, I'm somebody who, if something's hard or I think maybe I say, well, it's too hard, I'm not going to do it. So this put me in a situation where I had the support to get the confidence to be able to kind of believe in myself and not be scared. And it's okay to, fail or, keep trying until you get it. So it was definitely a confidence boost for me to try new things. And again, just get out of my head and just like having these preconceived notions about certain things. I've lived in Alberta now for 12 years and it's the outdoors, like you need to take advantage of Alberta, right? It's cold, 8 months out of the year, and there is so much to do. So instead of just being like bogged down with that, is take advantage of it.
Very nice. And you didn't fail at anything. You were challenged by the bracelet building, but
I almost walked out. But I didn't. Yeah. Again, there was support was there, right? If it wasn't the instructor, it was the other ladies in the class where I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do this. And she was like, no, you got this. Like, let's just keep doing it together.
Good.
Yeah.
Yep. The right encouragement.
Absolutely. Yeah.
If you go back next year, what would be your first picks for some of the sessions?
So I didn't choose any of the shooting options this year. The archery was the only one that was somewhat similar. I would definitely want to try some of the muzzle loading and higher caliber shotguns.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, I would want to do some of the more like the wilderness walk, maybe even the overnight. Because again, just like pushing myself a little bit more, getting out of my comfort zone, because that to me would be pretty cool to be able to do some of that.
Sweet. Yeah. 25 sessions. And what is it you take? You can take 5 while you're there?
7, I believe.
7,
yeah.
Yeah, so you could go for a number of years and never touch them twice.
Yeah.
And they continually put new things on the docket.
That's right.
Yeah. So, I mean, the biggest problem they could have is not being able to accommodate everyone all the time, but they seem to be doing a great job with it so far.
And I didn't get my top picks, and the ones that were selected, some of the activities that I did were some of my later picks, but I enjoyed them so much that I just feel like everything is so well run that there really isn't a bad option.
Nice. Sounds like the perfect camp.
It really was.
Yeah, I'm not even just exaggerating. It was such a fun time. Like usually you want, like you're kind of like not homesick, but you're ready to go home.
Right.
I was like, I could probably do a couple more days.
Oh, nice. Any last words of encouragement or advice for people thinking about this?
I think, for the price that they charge for the attendees that did have to, pay out of pocket, the amount of value you get in return is astronomical. I highly recommend, all women consider this if they're even just a little bit curious about spending a little bit more time outdoors and getting involved with outdoor activities.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'll kind of echo what Naomi said. If nothing else, it's a great week or weekend to just spend with like-minded or different-minded women. And it's, like I say, it was just such a blast that I would definitely say if you're thinking about it, you should do it.
Very nice.
Yeah.
It was my first time being an instructor there. It was an eye-opener for me. Everyone was keenly interested and participated without any hesitation. So they've asked me to come back next year, so I hope to see both of you there.
Yeah, that's the plan.
And I guess I'd like to finish by saying thanks for looking into Harvest Your Own. That's how you found out about the contest. And, we've been going now for several years. We've got close to 80 episodes that are out, and we hope that it's a library or a resource for people to go back to and find out more about the outdoors as well. So thanks for looking into Harvest Your Own. I hope you love the camp and get to go back next year.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
And thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for coming out.
Great.
We hope to inspire people to reconnect with nature and appreciate where your food comes from by harvesting your own. For more information on getting started or to learn specifics about the Field to Fork experience, visit harvestyourown.ca and follow on Facebook and Instagram. Check back often for new material, recipes, and videos that are posted regularly. Please subscribe to Harvest Your Own podcast and take the time to rate and review the show to help us build a dedicated core of passionate hunters as our regular audience. Until next time, embrace the outdoors and all it has to offer. Thanks for joining us.